Hi, my name is Bernie Barden, and this is my Things I Should Have Said project. Back when I was in 8th grade, two of my good friends came out as lesbian. This was a shock for me and the rest of my friend group because it was so early in our lives that we experienced a homosexual couple. I was in shock because I actually dated one of the girls that came out as lesbian at the time. I know it was just a typical middle school relationship, but it still came as a surprise to me that she was lesbian. At the time, I did not know how to handle the situation, so I sat back and watched the show unravel as the kids in my grade would ridicule and make fun of the lesbian couple. This situation is a clear example of social inequality because after they came out as lesbians, they were treated with such disrespect. Kids would not want to sit next to them during lunch, nobody hung out with them during recess, and during class, people would avoid them in the classroom. The terrible thing about the situation is that it wasn't only the students treating the lesbian couple with inequality, it was also the teachers. The teachers were a little less aggressive, showing their disregard. However, they too would avoid them in class, and some teachers would gossip about them as they would walk down the hallway holding hands. Looking back at it, I would have stepped up. I would have defended them. So many things I should have said, so many things I could have said. In terms of social inequality, embodied cultural capital was consistently being developed between the lesbian couple in my 8th grade year. Students that talked to the lesbian couple before they came out now talk to them differently, and this was the case for almost every student with an exception of a few. This changed how the lesbian couple consciously internalized every situation through the socialization process. Hence, the main feature that developed this new embodied cultural capital was the relationships they had with other students. As the year went on, the lesbian couple's social prestige went down. Students respected them less because of the fact that they were different from everyone else. They were deviant. They were seen as peasants in our school, or the equivalent to an untouchable. Literally, people thought they were weird and wanted nothing to do with them. Looking back at it, this seems absurd because they're essentially the same people with the same personality as they were before they came out. The only difference now is that they enjoy a partner from the same sex. Along with social prestige, the lesbian couple's esteem also went down. Their reputation as fun, exciting girls went to gothic, lesbian weirdos. In other words, the achieved status that they earned by being pretty and flirty with guys went down the gutter after they came out. In this situation, conformity played a major role in maintaining the social inequality. Since everyone else was straight, being gay or lesbian was seen as deviant, as I mentioned before. Conformity is defined as the behavior and appearances that follow and maintain the standards of a group, also the acceptance of cultural goals and the pursuit of those goals through the means defined as legitimate. The accepted cultural goals in my social setting, in this case, Walnut Creek Middle School, was that boys dated girls. Simple as that. This cultural goal was the case for many of us students throughout our whole lives at that point because we've never encountered a gay or lesbian couple before. We pursued to keep these goals through negative and formal sanctions. There is no formal rule against being lesbian. However, there are unofficial expressions of disapproval that were constantly aimed towards the lesbian couple. This is the main driving force that kept this social inequality. We can look at labeling theory to further explain the situation. Labeling theory suggests that an act is deviant when people notice it and then take action to label it as a violation and apply sanctions. In this case, being lesbian or gay was noticed by students in my middle school, and people immediately labeled it as deviant because it was never seen before. Then, negative and formal sanctions were applied, such as teasing, giving mean looks, ignoring, and rejecting the lesbian couple as normal people. To challenge this inequality, I would have took a symbolic interactionist approach and look at the ways the lesbian couple would present themselves to other people. I would also study the way they interacted after coming out the closet to try to understand what it was that made people not like them. To have a direct effect on this situation, I would have explained to my fellow peers that they are essentially the same person and the girls have the right to express themselves any way they want. I would have explained to my peers the differences between sex and gender and how gender is a socialized part of them. Even if they act masculine, they are still biologically females and should still be treated with respect. I don't know how much my explanations would have helped alleviate the pain for the poor lesbian couple, but at least I would have stepped up and said something. For anybody watching this video, I would like you to think about situations in your own life where you encountered a gay lesbian couple. Did you react differently? Did you label them as deviant? Maybe you did, or maybe you didn't. However, it is important to understand that homosexuality is a real thing and people have the right to express it. Thank you for watching. This is Things I Should Have Said.